Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, the Pat McAfee show is, I think, and again, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but even the Pat McAfee show, they're not littered with Instagram models pretending to be sports experts. They're just a group of guys sitting around talking about stuff they're interested in. They're not interested in DEI. Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco aren't sitting there, hey, we're doing Nightcap, but we really need more diversity. Instead of 2 black football players, let's add a white guy, or let's add a transgender person. They're just doing what comes natural to them. Same thing with Bill Simmons and his group of mostly white guys that he likes to talk to about the NBA. It's natural, it makes sense, and again, it's not littered with Instagram models. And I'm not trying to beat up on this person, but it really hammered home to me when I saw this CBS Sports clip of some woman, I think her name is Ashley Nicole Moss maybe or whatever, but here's her analysis, or one of the great points she made about this Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade. Listen to this.
We just heard from Avery Johnson just a minute ago. I asked him, are the Lakers done? Are they done making moves? And he doesn't seem to think that this is the last move they're going to make. Are you on the same page with Avery here?
Absolutely, and I think that this is not the last move that the Mavericks will make either. I'd be interested if Anthony Davis is a piece that ultimately the Mavericks potentially use to try to get Jimmy Butler. You know, they weren't going to send Luka to Miami in all intensive purposes. They were probably going to require a lot more than Miami was going to be willing to give up, but maybe a swap between Anthony Davis and Jimmy Butler is more feasible.
So CBS Sports version of Joy Taylor has just recommended that basically the Dallas Mavericks should trade Luka Doncic for Jimmy Butler. 36-year-old Jimmy Butler, who's not satisfied with $50 million a year. And so it's one of, and look, she's admitted that it's a bad take and all this other stuff, but it's like, what are we doing here? Why we got to pretend like Ashley Nicole Moss or whatever her name is knows what she's talking about as it relates to the NBA? But again, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And again, that's legacy media versus independent media. It's flip Anthony Davis for Jimmy Butler. Okay, this is almost more damaging than Joy Taylor offering herself up all around the FS1 offices, but go ahead.
Oh, geez. Now, I'm going to say this to paraphrase. Where have you gone, Jackie McCallum? Remember her? Boston Globe? I think I butchered her last name. She was good, though. Man, I liked her. Man, when she gives analysis of the NBA, the era she covered, I always feel like there is someone that was there. She was on the front line. She's a serious human being. I find her to be incredible and very knowledgeable. And the credibility is key. And you make a point about mainstream media. Jason, whatever NBA coverage that I get, whether it's in terms of the history, the nostalgia, or even the current events, like yesterday, I did some research actually. I don't really go to the legacy media. I go to websites or YouTube channels, and I know I'm missing a few. I wish I would have made a list, but Uncut Hoops, AM Hoops, our guy Scap Attack. I find these guys to be incredibly knowledgeable, very well researched, and I get it. Everyone has a bias. I find them to have much less dishonest agendas, if at all, compared to the people that we see on the major networks.
Bitcoin isn't going anywhere, so why not start stacking some today? The Fold app gives you Bitcoin rewards when you buy gift cards at Amazon, Uber, DoorDash, and Home Depot. Over 50 national merchants. Go to foldapp.com/Whitlock right now. New users get a Bitcoin bonus with their first gift card purchase. Start earning Bitcoin rewards today. Fold app. There's no question about it. Steve, if you go look at the popular podcast, in almost any genre, they're not shrines to DEI. And that's why they're winning in such a major fashion and diminishing legacy media. Independent media is like, hey, Joe Rogan, he's going to do his own podcast. He's not sitting there. You know what? I need to add a woman to this or a black person to this. I just need to do me. I just need to do what's, again, Shannon Sharpe, Club Shay Shay, Nightcap. Hey, just let me do me. I'm not trying to put together, we are the world, we are the children. It makes it superior when you remove DEI from the equation and do what is natural, makes sense. You're not sitting there worried about checking boxes so that you can get some promotion or bonus. Because again, in mainstream media, there are bonuses handed out for executives. Oh, if you hire this gay person, if you hire this black person, if you hire this black woman, if you put an Instagram model on every show as a host, you'll get a bonus, and maybe she'll be like Joy Taylor and you'll get a special extra bonus. It doesn't work in the podcast space, and that's one of the reasons why that genre of media is dominating the mainstream media.
There's no doubt about it. And the agendas, look, we always say to ourselves, and I hear this a lot, well, we want to make this conversation or the show like you're at the barbershop or at the bar, right? But, okay, so what you're saying without saying is we don't want to hear women's opinions. Because think about it. When you think of all the great barbershop conversations you've had, Jason, and I'm sure the black barbershops are different than the ones that I go to, there's not a lot of women there. In fact, there may have never been a woman, and they probably never chimed in if there was one. And then when you're at a bar, whether it's at Applebee's on a Friday night or Cheers on a Thursday, there's no regular red-blooded American male that seeks out a female opinion of a sport, any sport, at a bar. That's just kind of the way it is. I know it's not popular to say, but that's the bottom line. And when I cover fights, look, there are female reporters that I like. They're there all the time. We have great conversations. But the deepest, most, I would say, knowledgeable talks that I've had, that I found the funniest and oftentimes the most profane, only involve males. There is a thing called locker room humor. I know people frown upon it nowadays, but guess what, Jason? Those are the best ones.
Well, men need spaces where they can talk. Women need spaces where they can talk. And it's this whole force thing on the rest of the media. And look, there's a level of heat that comes along with talking about anything in a transparent and honest way. And if we had an Instagram model sitting here while we were having that conversation, now, what do you mean? Are you saying women can't own teams? You sound sexist.
Well,
And now I got to spend 15 minutes saying, hey, pipe down.